Hi there. Overnight, Microsoft announced a bunch of new products, including the Surface Book 3. Now, the Surface Book 3, a lot of people haven't been that excited about it. They've sort of said, oh, it's a bit boring, it's a spec bump. And it kind of is in a way. The form factor of the Surface Book 3 is much the same as what the Surface Book 2 was. We've got a 13-inch and a 15-inch model. That model came out around about 2017, so it's a few years old now, the overall design. But I'm really excited about the Surface Book 3, and I'll tell you why. It's a really unique device, first of all. The specs, they're good. They're middle of the road. This is not an amazing gaming PC. This is not the most high-spec device that you could get, but it has a really unique niche. In terms of the specs, there's the new 10th generation Intel processors built into these devices, i5 and i7. There's also up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, which will help for a lot of applications, and that's a nice little incremental improvement. There's also new SSDs, really fast ones, all the way up to 2 terabytes in size. Now, it looks like the 2 terabyte option is only available in the US at this stage, but hopefully we'll get it here in Australia soon. But a really welcome addition is the new Far-Field Studio mics that were built into the Surface Pro 7 and Surface Laptop 3. They do a brilliant job of picking up voice for presentations and video conferencing, those sorts of things. So we're really happy to see that feature in the Surface Book 3. But also, there was a little bit of a problem with the Surface Book 2, and potentially you could actually run down the battery while you had the thing plugged into power if you were using all of the horsepower of the device. And that's because the power supply was probably a little bit under-spec'd. The new power supply comes in over 120 watts, so it's got plenty of power to keep the device charged and keep everything going well. The USB-C port has been upgraded. It's got about a 10 gigabit throughput potential now. The old model, I think, had about half of that. Still no Thunderbolt option here though. What will be really appreciated are the graphics card options. A new GeForce 1660 option, as well as a Quadro 3000. Now, the Quadro model is not for everybody, and in fact, it's only available through the business channel. If you're thinking that Quadro might be something that you have to have because it sounds better than the GeForce, it's probably not. It's really only designed for very specific applications, perhaps like SolidWorks or some of those 3D rendering and design type applications. There'll be very specific workflows and software that need that card. For everybody else, the GeForce card is probably the best option, but it is a considerable spec bump over the previous options in the Surface Book 2. Now, this is not a gaming PC, but if you were looking at the gaming performance of the Surface Book 3, you should expect to see about a 40% improvement over the previous model. So it's pretty significant, this graphics card upgrade. But here's what I like about the Surface Book and what makes it really unique. Its form factor. Now, again, it's not for everybody, this form factor. It's kind of compromised in a lot of ways. I think if you're a mobile worker, then a Surface Pro is a far better form factor for you. But if you're working in 3D design or some sort of creative industry that works in animation or gaming design or something like that, then this has a lot of advantages. The fact that you can detach the screen and go away and use that amazing creative slate, and you could draw and take notes and have your meetings and share the screen with somebody across the desk, is just something that's really brilliant with the Surface Book. On the Surface Book 2, I had the 15-inch model for a while. One of our staff's got that now. And that 15-inch screen is absolutely amazing to use with the pen. It's such a huge creative canvas, and I can just imagine being able to sit with your clients and discuss things and mark up and create different options would be just brilliant. But it is too big, really, for the average user. I mean, if I tried to use that 15-inch slate on a plane seat, well, there's not really enough room even for me to sit in that space with that huge slate. But using it is just absolutely amazing. So it's got a really unique sort of position in the market. And I think if you are working in one of those industries where you needed that kind of performance and those kind of graphic options, then the Surface Book is something that you should definitely consider. It might mean that you have to adapt your workflow and think about things differently. You've got to learn some new skills to really take advantage of this device. Once you do that, there is absolutely nothing out there like it. So we're really excited to see the Surface Book 3 in the flesh, and as soon as we can get our hands on one, we'll bring you a full review. Stay tuned for more news on those other products, the Surface Go 2, and also the new Surface Dock, and a couple of options there. If you found this video helpful, remember to give us the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to learn all about Surface devices. So it's going to enable more options and connectivity. Still not Thunderbolt. Okay. The USB-C port's been upgraded to about a 10 gigabit throughput, which I think is about double the old one. Still not Thunderbolt. I did it twice.